guys, welcome to a real American tourer cruiser motorcycle. The first time I've ever ridden one. We're on a 2015 Indian Roadmaster. So, Indian motorcycles. Now I may get some gyp for this from the Americans, but so far all the research I've done is Indian is America's first motorcycle company. Just going to drop that bomb there. If you didn't know that already, before Harley Davidson, Indian and Harley Davidson have been big competitors for a long time now, but actually Indian were first, which was surprising when I was doing all my research. I've got to be honest, I sort of knew that, but fairly new to me. The Roadmaster is Indian's ultimate long distance cruiser big tourer. The Roadmaster was first introduced in 1940. This is a 2015 model. It's got all of the bells and whistles. We'll jump on and go for a ride and go over what it's like to ride, you know, some of its features, just everything. We'll go over everything and just the joy and experience of riding such a majestic, classic American V-twin big cruiser motorcycle. If you're interested in it and want to see what it's like to ride, stay tuned. Let's jump on and yeah, see what it's all about. Right guys, just before we head off, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Blade Motorcycles again for lending me this big Indian for the day, an example of the variety of bikes they have. They got everything there, so thank you very much, Blade. And also, just to shout out, this bike is actually for sale. It's 2015 model. I think it's got just over 7,000 miles on, but for price and everything, give Blade a shout. I'm sure they can they'll give you all the details if you're interested. Full transparent, so you got a big on button here, nice and simple on button. Now I'm not sure how much you can see out of the GoPro because it's got such a big fairing. If you can see, there's speakers here on the left and on the right. Boom! There it is. We'll start off with a few basic specs, but really just want to get moving and just let you know what the experience is like. I've always looked up to these bikes. I absolutely love them, if I'm being honest, straight off the bat. Like, big, heavy things. They're not performance machines, but they're just so cool. I just love that American big cruiser. I mean this, you know, I just love that vibe. So I'm actually really excited and happy to ride this. Really interested to see what it's about. So it has Indian's 111 cubic inch engine. So that translates to about 1,811 cc. So a 1.8 litre V-twin in this big baby, putting out 139 newton meters of torque. So that's a lot of torque, great for a cruiser, but recently ridden the Rocket 3 GT, and that's got 221. It does show how much that Rocket's got. That is crazy. But yeah, first jumping on, I was very genuinely intimidated. I actually got George at Blade to ride it out of the showroom for me just because I didn't want to make a fool of myself because it's so big. I didn't want to mess it up and embarrass myself by dropping it or something, so thank you for that, George. Yeah, jumping on, it is as expected. Whoa, hello, it's a fellow tractor. Wonder if he'll give me a wave. As expected, it is big frontal area, and you can see on the rear there's the passenger seat is just incredible for the pillion. It's like an armchair for the pillion. But immediately jumping on, it's easy. It is easy, this bike. So it's very heavy. It's 425 kilograms. That's nearly half a ton on two wheels, which you are lumping around. But don't get me wrong, you do have to take it easy, because I have a feeling if you let it pass that tipping point, you're just going to lose it. So I'm taking it fairly easy on these small British roads we have, but it's fairly easy. I haven't taken it past that tipping point. Oh look, bonfire night's in, but so far so good. So how does the engine feel? So it's got standard exhaust on this bike. It's not overly loud actually. It's a fairly, for a big cruiser, I was imagining it to be a lot louder. You really got to concentrate on these sharp hairpins. It's not too loud. I'd say its sweet spot is when you get up into the higher gears, so you get up into third, preferably fourth and above, then it's really nice. It's got a nice tone actually above 3000 RPM. Like there, you can hear that. It's got a really comes on song at about 3000. So the main standout things for me is purely the size. You've got these fairings down here for your legs, the fairings up front with the speakers in. You really are, the wind protection, you are in a complete bubble of calm. Woo! Oh, but it's so smooth once you've knocked it up through those gears. We're in fourth gear now. I mean, this has got to be the most comfortable motorcycle I've ever ridden. Seriously. Okay, we'll put it over some bumps and then it may come undone a bit, but for now, oh, it is literally like riding an armchair in a good way. So just dipping it into these bigger corners, once you've got the hang of it, you need to build up some courage to tip it around those corners. But once you've done it, the initial lean over in a larger corner is quite nerve-wracking, if I'm being honest. But once it's over and you're leant in, it's actually quite, it's not nimble, that would be silly, but it's quite nice. It's not ridiculously bad. You're nervous here, but then if you just go for it and tip it in, I am worried about what's going to scrape the floor. Is it going to be the pegs or those, hopefully the engine crash protection bars down there that are going to scrape first? There's a lot of plastic and metal and things poking out everywhere, let alone at the back. I haven't even looked back there, but you're aware of that. But the handling, it's not nimble, but look at it. I mean, you can just tip it like this really easily. Very cool handling, very much enjoying that. So it's got speakers, guys, here. We'll go over some specs in a sec. I'll show you everything it's got. It's really pretty impressive. It's got speakers front and rear for the passenger. I mean, I feel like I've just got to say it, because I can anticipate some comments already, people saying, well, it's just not suitable for UK's tiny bumpy roads, which it's not ideal for a motorbike. It's not ideal, but it's great fun. I'm having so much fun, and these are small roads. This is not the ideal testing grounds for this bike, but it's smaller than a car, if that means much. It really is, it's an event. It's so nice, and I'm just going through these villages. It's still really easy to ride through these villages. If you like these bikes, I really wouldn't look at them and go, oh, I just can't have one in the UK, the roads aren't big enough. Not at all, screw that, just get it. It's great fun so far. Okay, so having just said that, I do need to turn around now, and this is a seriously small road, and it is quite intimidating, but I'll leave the camera on because it could be entertaining watching me turn around. Hey-yo, up. Yeah, just steady. Really don't want to let her lean over too far. We made it, that's all right. Another really cool thing, you do get a lot of looks on this big machine. I guess in America they're everywhere, but in the UK they're really not, and it stands out a lot. It's a really nice thing. People just looking, and they're literally smiling or even laughing, which I find quite amusing when they look at you on this bike. On that point, guys, just hopefully we're sort of midway through the video, I'd like to give a shout out to mental health awareness. Let's all be open about it and help each other out and all be kind to each other in this world that we're living in nowadays. I won't lie, I've been feeling rough recently, but feeling a lot better now. Motorbikes are great therapy for your mental health, so if you struggle or if you're thinking about getting a bike, go for it, enjoy life. Stuck at the traffic lights again, they're not always the funnest. Right, let's go and find a place to pull over and I'll show you some of the cool features this bike's got, because it has got quite a lot of them. So just before we stop quickly, another big benefit to these massive cruisers and tourers, as obvious besides the touring capability, is your road presence. Just riding along here, you've got a lot of presence. You do have to watch out for your wings because you are over 1 meter in width, but yeah, you don't feel vulnerable on the road. You feel like a force to be reckoned with coming down the road, which is good. It inspires confidence in your presence on the road, I guess. Let's just pop some fuel in here. It's a bit of an event manoeuvring it into the fuel station in the UK. That's quite small, some of the petrol stations, so you've got to be thinking when you're moving and take slow actions. But yeah, look at her, absolute behemoth. Very, very cool. So I'll put some fuel in just so you know. One quick stat for you, it's got a 20.5 litre tank, so not too bad actually. It's visibly very large, teardrop style tank, harking back to the Indian heritage feel to it. And just on that, you've got classic sort of split fuel tank design. However, this is a fake one, that's just for looks. This is your real filling up cap. Yeah, not really a problem. Finally, a nice place to stop and do some specs. Sort of stately manner here. Usually when I do these reviews, I like ride around and then can spot a nice place on the side of the road. Oh look, is that a heron? On the side of the road to do the walk around, but you have to be a little bit more picky on a bike like this. Okay, so that is a big negative. We're definitely not allowed to stop here wherever I am. Some big estate. Apparently they're closed, so they've moved me on. Let's try and find somewhere else. However, a good thing about a bike looking like this is people do approach it with interest and an open mind, and it looks like you're on tour, so you can just say, oh no, oh, sorry, I'm lost, I was looking for here, or oh, are you not open by mistake, you know. People respect it because you look like you've got loads of luggage, which I don't. There's nothing in there. Nice little feature. Moving on, good girl. Moving on. But confirmed, it's definitely got its downsides, this bike, but so far such an experience. I'm loving it, and that's all what motorbiking's about to me. Just enjoying the ride, whatever it be like. At least you found some nice roads. Looking for somewhere to stop. Nice bigger roads, open her up. Woo! Yeah, Nelly. She comes into her own on bigger roads. It's an event on smaller roads, but these bigger A roads, this is what she was built for. Just lolloping along and stretching that big 1.8 litre engine. Speed bump, now that could be interesting. Yeah, try and avoid those. Let's go over it, see how she deals. She goes over, just have to be mindful. Not bad though. Found a place. So I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Thumbs up. Go over a few of the specs. So in 2015 this retailed brand new for $26,999. If you transfer that now into pounds, it's somewhere around sort of 24,500 pounds. So it's not a cheap bike, but I think you probably could guess that by looking at it. It's a hell of a piece of kit. You're getting a lot for your money. A lot of steel, plastics, engine, and to be honest, electrics as well, and features for your money. Some people, you would think old school cruisers don't have much tech. This has got quite a lot of tech, which yeah, we'll just go over now, a few of the cool features it has. So at this point in the video, I usually would be saying, let's get to the heart, the main feature of this motorbike, the engine. This is the 111 cubic inch, 1.8 litre, just over 1,800 cc engine, 139 newton meter torque. Don't get me wrong, it's a lovely engine. It's just, to me personally, it's not the overall factor of this bike, the overall feature. There are certain bikes, for instance the Harley Davidson Lowrider S with their 117 motor. Now that is all about the engine for me in that. For this it's not, it's different. This is a slightly lazier, long-legged motor that's just nice for cruising. It's not an aggressive V-twin, it's more long-legged and more laid back and smoother just for longer cruising, which is not a bad thing. It's just not stand out in your face, massive V-twin. Okay, so I'm not too sure how I'm going to structure this part of the video, going over all of the features, etc., because there is genuinely a lot of them, but I'll just do some of the standout features. First off, luggage. Overall luggage, you have 168 litres worth of weatherproof storage. So if I point you around that, you've got your two panniers, hard case panniers, lovely sculpted on the rear here with the exhausts. See that? Coming out the back, very cool, and a huge top case on the rear here. It's actually called a trunk. Indian call it the trunk because I assume it's huge. It's bigger than just a top case. It's like a boot. Very big there, and coming around here obviously you have your right hand side hard case pannier as well. Oh no, that is not all the storage. Up front here And the front fairings on either side, you have very handy 3.8 litres on each side of storage there. Very handy. You could fit lunch, phone, wallet, spectacles, testicles, wallet and watch, everything in there on either side as well, so that's very handy. Okay, another cool feature, onto these speakers. The first bike I've ever ridden with an inbuilt speaker system, and I must say, absolutely love it. So you have a speaker here on the left, big speaker here on the right as well. I hope you can see that okay, it comes out on camera. And you can dial into the radio, and also you can hook up Bluetooth your phone as well. I just haven't been able to do that because of copyright reasons for YouTube, etc. Yeah, but you get some cool, I don't know, Leonard Skinner or something, rock and roll music, cruising. Feels really cool. Also, there's two speakers in the rear, just either side of the passenger seat here. So the passenger doesn't feel left out. Okay, another cool feature you could say, sneaky feature, unique to this bike. Again, in the front fairings here, if we come into the front fairing, there is a vent. So if you're getting a bit toasty, perhaps you're in America, hot weather, cruising, open your vent, get some nice airflow coming in to cool down your legs, keep you nice and comfortable. Then if you start getting a bit chilly, close that in, deflect some of the airflow away. Very cool feature. Another cool feature, overall, passenger comfort. So you've got passenger floorboards. You get big floorboards for the rider, but also for the passenger, which I think's supremely comfortable. And they're three-way, I think it's three-way adjustable as well, so varying in height, etc. for the passenger, so they can be supremely comfy. And also, just look at the passenger seat. It's one of my favourite features, and looks of it is just really nice, genuine leather, sort of armchair style pillion seat, and they'll almost be as comfortable as the rider, I would have thought, back there. Really cool. Coming down here is your heated seats operation. Nice sort of metal toggle there to do your heated seats. Last but not least, let's just do another quick feature. It's probably getting a bit long. I personally like all of the little Indian, I love the Indian logo and the quality of the metal and leather, the way they've just added in lots of Indian logos on the bike. I keep on spotting them. So there's one here on the leather seat there, really quality. Come down here, there's another one there. Obviously the big one on the engine. Another one here, and on the panniers as well. Last but not least, can't help myself, just show you the electric windscreen. This is its lowest setting. And that is it all the way up. Loads and loads of wind protection. So guys, I'd better get her back to her rightful owner, unfortunately. We'll jump on, we'll hit the highway, or the motorway as we call it, or the dual carriageway I think it is, as we call it in England, and see what it's like, because that is what it's built for. See what it's like on there. Got a feeling it's going to be pretty good. But just as we jump on, so it's a 673 mil seat height. Bit of a strange number, but yeah, it's very low to the ground. I am 5'9", very easily touch the ground, which is reassuring because, as I said earlier, wet weight, oh, it does sound nice, that nice lazy motor. Oh, I'm getting distracted. The wet weight is 421 kilograms. She's a heavy girl. Now, I didn't, but I nearly had a moment earlier. Just because you're not used to the bike moving it around, I sort of got lulled into a false sense of security. I was like, oh, it's okay, I got the hang of her now. And then, whoa, all of a sudden you're like, oh, no, I don't. Careful. So that is just a point. That's a lot of weight to be handling around yourself. So yeah, it's really worth just being mindful of that weight, really, and constantly keeping that in mind. Other motorbikes you can sort of forget about it, but as soon as you forget about the weight on this, I think that will be when you drop it. On that note of the weight, actually, one thing to really bear in mind, I can't imagine doing any maintenance on this bike. Or yeah, you'd really have to think about what you're doing. It's belt driven, so thank God. Flat tyres, anything goes wrong with this, you could find yourself in a spot of bother if you wanted to fix it yourself. Just worth bearing in mind. If you're going on a big tour on one of these cruisers, you want good breakdown cover. Ah, fellow cruiser rider. My apologies guys, I thought we were going to be taking the M4 back to Blade Motorbikes, but it's not. But at least it's a main road to get an idea for how she is on these bigger roads. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, it just comes into its own on these A roads. So comfortable. I've got acres of room to put your feet. The bars come back nicely towards you. Nice bend in my arms. Very, very good back support, lumbar support on the seat actually. I should have mentioned that earlier. That's really comfortable. And of course, pop that screen up to its highest setting and just oodles of comfort. You could ride around the world on this, no problem at all. Of course you have cruise control as well. Really good. Highly recommend a ride on one of these. A lot of people shun them because of being so heavy basically and not being that great performers, but that's not what they're about. They're about being heavy, comfortable, long, characterful cruisers. That's what I think anyway. If you're interested in this bike, guys, I'm not a salesman, I'm not trying to sell it, but just letting you know it is at Blade Motorcycles. I'll pop the price up on the screen because I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the video. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one. Keep riding, stay happy. Ciao bella.